So welcome back guys. As discussed in the previous lecture, string is a sequence of items. Let's move on with this idea to another very important and useful data type in Python, which is list. Before we move on, some key points for lists are positionally ordered collections of arbitrary typed objects. It can take any data type. List is a sequence of elements separated by commas in a set of square brackets, like we had this s dot split with the items hi, I, am, chef within the list. Lists have no fixed size. They are mutable. Unlike strings, lists can be modified. We can add new item in the list, we can remove any item, and these operations we can't do with strings. So lists can be indexed and sliced like strings. Let's create a simple list here. Let's pass in some kind of say how the list look like. 4, 2, 3, 4. So this is our list. We can give A, B, C to list. These are strings. Now A, B, C is our list. Let's create a simple list, my list, and pass in A, B, C. So now I have my list with A, B, and C strings. My list, this is my list. So we said we can index a list, my list 0, which is the first element. B is the second element, 1. C is the third element, 2. But if we want to add something to my list, we can use append. Say we want to append D. Let's see how the my list look like. Now we have A, B, and this D is appended with list. Now the D is appended with list, my list. Pop is another method which removes and returns the last item from the list. Say my list dot pop. So D, which is the last item, we are getting in the output. Let's see how the my list look like now. We are back to our original list. So the pop has removed the last item from the list. Another very important concept, we can nest a list within a list and grab any element in the nested list. A very useful feature which is applied in this case is the matrices or multidimensional arrays. Let's say if we have a list nest 1, 2, 3, and we have another list within list 4, 5, 6. Nest looks like 1, 2, 3, and this. We can grab this whole list with nest index 3, which is at index 3. So now what if I want 5? We can further index on this list here, like this nest 3. We have this list, and then within that 0 and 1. Now we got 5 here. We can pass in like nest instead of 4, 5, 6, or instead of anything like, let's copy this one here and pass in A, B. So now the nest is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at place 3, and then A, B, a list of strings at place 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So far we have learned about strings and lists. They are somehow related to each other. as they are just sequences of items, and we can use same index notation to grab an element. So we can index them. On the other hand, dictionaries are something completely different as they are not sequenced at all. Dictionaries are actually key value pairs in curly brackets. They store objects by key instead of by a relative position, and they don't maintain any reliable left to right order. They simply map key to the associated value. Like if we want a value, we pass in the key and we get that value out. Dictionaries can grow and shrink on demand, like lists. Let's create a simple dictionary D1, which is we said in curly brackets with key value pair. Let's say K is key 1. We pass on the value V1. We have K2 as a key and V2 as a value. We have K3 as a key and V3 another value. Now we have D1. So now we have D1 as a dictionary. We can access any value in the dictionary using its key. Like in list and string, index such as D1, 0 is not going to work because these are key value pairs. If we say K1, yes, this is going to work. So we are passing key and we are getting value out. We can say 2, we will get the value 2. So dictionaries can take any item as their value. For example, we can have a list with associated key in the dictionary. Let's create another dictionary D2 and pass in K1, and let's say 1, 2, 3 is a list here, and our K2 is another list of A and B. What if we want 2, or what if we want A? We can pass in the key, and this is what we have 1, 2, 3. And now we can simply index. We want 2, so 2 is at index 0, 1. So here it is. What if we want to grab B here? It's again simple, D2. Our key is K2, and then we are indexing over this list K2 index 0 here. So we got A. We have a dictionary here D1. What if we want a list of keys only, or a list of values only? We can use built-in method dot keys, and this will return all the keys within the dictionary D1 as a list. I can get the values as well using method values. So this will return me all the values V1, V2, V3 associated with these keys within the dictionary. So this was brief introduction on dictionary, guys. Let's move on to another very important data type, tuples. Tuples are similar to the lists but cannot be changed. Tuples are sequences like lists, but they are immutable like strings. So immutable, you can't change them. Tuple used to represent fixed collections of items in your code. Like in your code, if you don't want any change for certain items, you can just pass them to a tuple. Tuples are coded in parentheses instead of square brackets. Let's create a very simple tuple here. T equal to 1, 2, 3. We can index T0 is 1, T2 is 3. Let's try to replace 1 to some new values. Let's say, so T0 is 1. Let's pass into new. It's not working because tuples are immutable. We can't pass in any new value. We can't change the value in tuple. Let's move on to sets now. Sets is a collection of unique elements in a pair of curly brackets. Like we have 1, 2, 3. What if we have 1, 2, 2, 2, and 3? We are not getting 2 3 times. What we said in the beginning, unique elements. So an item appears only once in a set, no matter how many times it is added. If we even add 3 times, 4 times, like if we add 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, let's add a couple of times. Still, 3 only appears 1, even if it is in the set like several times. We can use add method to add new element to set. Let's create a set first. S equal to 1, 2, 3. S dot add. S dot add. Let's add 4 here. Print S. S equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. This 4 is added. If we want to add 4 again, S dot add. You think it's going to work? And print S. So it's not going to work because set can only have unique items. It can have 4 only once. We can add multiple times, but the set, this will appear only once in the set. So if we want to add 4 again, it will not give an error, but the output will be same as set can only have unique elements. So moving forward, let's talk about the last data type, Boolean. Booleans are simply true and false with capital T and capital F, which is just a customized version of 0 and 1. Like something is true, it is true. Something is false, it is false. Let's recall our my list. We have my list A, B, and C. We can check if there is any element within the list, like we can say A in my list. True. 1 in my list. It didn't get item 1 in my list, so it's returning false. Is there any 0? No, there's no 0 in my list. So this was all about Boolean. Great job, guys. So as a quick review, what we did so far, we have gone through the basic Python data types. We have learned these data types with examples. Let's move on to the next lecture where we will overview the other important concepts in Python. See you in the next lecture. Good luck.